in the oven, so we're on camera, basically we're talking live, yanking that
That
thing
was real live. You saw us moving.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not like you never did anything like that at home.
No, I fried my, basically to show you how hot the stuff is coming out of the oven, I cooked my finger. Basically, it didn't burn anything, but it really stung me. I'm sitting there trying to get that thing off so I can get it wrapped up in a piece of wet paper towel, put in the microwave, and then we're sitting there eating it on camera in front of everybody. So, recovery, but that's what we're doing. So, I'm still going to be there because I direct everything. Well, I direct everything other than her gifting suites and her red carpets, which I won't go to. And there's a reason behind that, not because I can't, because people ask why I'm not there. The problem is that people come up to me, and, oh, I remember you.
I know, and I'm trying to get him to go, and he's like, nah.
I know, but I don't want to go to where I'm spending all of my time, reminiscing with people, because what happens is, okay, another example,
I tell him we'll get unique interviews.
I know we get unique interviews, but I'll go to events. We used to go to things that MTV produced, Viacom produced, but Viacom would basically get our videos taken off because Viacom claims ownership of anything that anybody has worked for Viacom that, past, present, or whenever. They could have died 50 years ago. They claim it's, well, you're using this person's image without Viacom's permission. And then they'll gracefully tell you, after your videos have all been, oops, sorry, we didn't mean to have you because you're actually working with us. But they don't put the stuff back up. They don't put them back up. So, you don't see any of those videos on the internet, period. We've got hundreds of interviews from people at Viacom that work for Viacom that are not setting anywhere anymore. But what we did, we went to a thing, we went to a deal to look for, looking for camera equipment, which the big lens we got on the camera we picked up over there at the moment, and our new screens we actually did pick up there too. So, but right off the bat, some guy, I know you. You were on Bonanza. Yeah.
They were older people.
Older people, yeah. Well, older people. I wasn't on Bonanza a lot.
Were you on Bonanza for a minute?
Yeah. Oh. I did some stuff on Bonanza way back. I was a cowboy.
Boy, these guys have good memories because some of that stuff has a...
I do not look the same. First of all, most of the time, okay, if I did westerns or Indians, I always had my hair darkened. Because, if you got blonde hair, you must be the good guy. No, I never played good guy. I never played a good guy in my life, except in surf and sand movies. I was always a bad person. I was a bad person in surf and sand movies. But because they always said, well, you spent too much time looking at the leading actress. Well, no. Most of the time I tended to, because I tended to have a job because they trusted me, where they get underage girls. I was sort of, and then the girl would be, every time the girl would start to make a move, I would be like this, and they'd say, well, he's always over by the leading actress. That's because the girl that I was always in front of was making her move towards the guy that happened to be the leading guy, or the choreographer. Like, she's 14 years old. She her father is a big investor in the company, so they got to put her into things. And basically, you can believe that people in the entertainment industry don't care how old you are. If you're old enough to be out there, you're old enough to go out with them. So, and most of them tend to be 10 years older than I was. Most of the guys. That was the average. That was the youngest, would be 10 years older than me. So I spent a lot of time, not knowing what I'm doing. They say, okay, I show up, and then what am I supposed to do? And they go, or then I'd sit there and go, okay. I'm always, anything I was ever in, I was a half beat behind everybody because I never saw it being done until I got in front of the camera. So when I'm doing like this too, I'm having to do like this over in front of the girl, without being able to capture what's going on. I had more complaints from choreographers than you can ever believe. Who the hell is that person screwing up our routine? And then the director would say, he'd call a guy over and he said, see that little girl he's in front of? She's 13 years old. Oh crap.
That would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, what the hell is she? She's the producer's daughter. Oh, good. I mean, I did a big movie musical in motion pictures, basically. It didn't do anything. The lead dancer that they had from Broadway, who the choreographer had said, you know, this guy wants to be a motion picture actor, just put him in. He knows the steps already. You don't have to worry about him. So he didn't show up because he got another gig. And the director said, calls my grandmother. He said, hey, your grandkid, he dances, doesn't he? And he said, well, yeah. I get there, and I have to do a ballet, jump up, twirl, and come around, you know, like that. Stuff.
I'm surprised you could do that.
Yeah.
Right now.
I know my leg is broken. I just did it. Except I did it higher. But you notice I'm also up. I got a fractured leg and I did it. But I did it. I come down about a half step off from the main ballet dancer. And basically the choreographer that did the Broadway production saw it. And basically, basically you're talking, the little guy knew all sorts of 4-letter words, and I had them all at him. And then the guy that produced the show on Broadway was also the producer of the movie. He said, well, maybe if that blankety blank person that you guaranteed would be so great had actually showed up, we wouldn't have had to call the kid's grandmother and ask him if he could substitute for the blankety blank. And he might have actually known the steps that we're doing. He said he saw that as it was being done. The guy goes, I remember the producer told me, the guy, he said, the Broadway choreographer, he went, huh? And I said, yeah, he missed it by a half step and he'd never seen it until he did it. He said, oh Christ, I need to talk to that kid. I did not go to Broadway. He did not want to go to Broadway. But that was my break to go to Broadway. I didn't take it. I didn't want to go. I was not one of these types that didn't do twirl. But he was the choreographer loved to do ballet movements. I could do all this stuff and all of this. I'm capable of it. I don't. Right now, like I said, I have a broken leg and I can do it. But those are the things. And people recognize me from, they'll recognize me from being stupid in the beach, in surf and sand pictures. Like anything that was shot in the late 50s, early 60s at the beach was a surf and sand picture. I could surf. I can't swim, but I can surf. So I used to be in the background of a lot of those things. I'd be out on my paddle board, and what I do is, I'd spend all day long. We didn't wear wetsuits in those days, folks. We had on our little swim trunks, and we didn't even think it was cold. What I got was like $15, all the beer I could drink and food to eat. So that was what I got. And those were the days too before they put credits on things. If you were just somebody out there, you'd be like one of the beach dancing boys, one of the boys in the band, one of the Wranglers. I mean, I was on the Virginian too. I mean, I was one of the Wranglers because I owned my own horse. So I had my own gear, which means I could, I had a right-handed, left-handed gun, whatever they wanted. My father was basically in the business. My father told me, if you want to upstage whoever is out there, wear a gun opposite his. So, if the guy was right-handed, I'd wear the left-handed gun. If he was left-handed, I'd wear a right-handed gun.
Which you could do because you could do either hand.
Yeah, I can sit there with the gun so I could sit there and play that. But he said that would always draw attention to me and upstage the person. And they didn't realize, they never caught on to the fact that, I would always have something different than what they were wearing. So people, they remember, I played Germans. I played Germans I would play German without a German accent, because I always thought that it was ridiculous to be speaking with a German accent in combat, which was an English production. And I can guarantee there was an actor named Bill, that basically, he had to change his name because another actor had the same name, so he Germanized his name. He said, what the hell are we doing, Eric? They speak English. We're doing it in English. They know we're Germans because they got the uniforms on. Let's speak in English so that people, no, but that's not how you do things. I have learned from Stella Adler and from Lee Strasberg, you must do it this way. I didn't do it that way. So if you ever, I was speaking, oh, I go, you know, like if they, I didn't say anything like, oh, what? Oh, here? You know, I have one words or one syllable things because then they didn't have to pay you for being anything else. If you would say, oh, here, then you had to get paid for being a speaking part. So people that don't want me to be on anymore, you really got to get that, what you're wanting for, because I'm not going to be on as much. So you won't hear my nasal metallic voice. You get to see just her pretty little self. But you're going to be, like I tell people, the majority of the stuff that we do are not in swimsuits. If you go over to basically Not a Spring Chick, and if you go to what's going to be end up, you know, I think Monty Bubbles Enterprises is also that way. And you're going to be going soon to one of our paid, we're actually paying, we're going to be paying to put a channel up, you know, from the Joyce, Not a Spring Chick, from the red carpet. And then I won't be there at all, so a great percentage of the stuff being done in the future, I will not be sitting there because, you know, we've got an animation department and a music department, and they all have to have somebody that pays attention to what's going on. So I will be doing this. Look at that. I fade away, and this will all you'll hear. You'll hear me in the background on some of the things. Just all her and her pretty little self.
Oh, I think this is more because you don't want to be in front of the camera anyway. See, part of it is that, okay, it's me and my friends that want to be, actually I have to be in front of the camera. My friends all want to be in the front of the camera. I just stay out in front of the camera.
I honestly, I tell you,
it's like,
you know why I started getting in front of the camera? Because I started in cameras when I was about like this.
yeah, so it's amazing.
Because I got offered candy and stuff to do it. And when I got older, I got, you know, well, you know, I would get soda pop, and I could also, you know, hey, I could also get out of class because they'd send something around, you know, they'd send a car around. Because I went to the regular schools, the other kids went to the studio schools. I went to regular schools. They send a car around, and they say, oh, yeah, he's gonna miss algebra today because he's got to go fill in for somebody that didn't show up. And they'd say, yes, who didn't show up today? Who didn't show up today? And I said, well, it might have been, Dean Stockwell that didn't show up today. Or it might have been Brandon DeWild. But then again, it might not. So. But then they'd find out whatever I was working on. And basically, I didn't do it to get girls. I did it to get out of school and treats. And then when I did it when I got older, I discovered it paid for the gas and the payments on my automobiles. But I had no love for the camera. I did it for over 4 decades. I was doing this crap. And now in the year 2000 or something like that, I get
2010.
2010. I'm back in front of, you know, I'm an old person. I mean, I'm old. I can't do the things I used to do. I mean, now I get no rest at all. So at least I used to get rest. So, but that's it. We do a long thing. We talk to people. She doesn't talk as much, but like I said. This is the future. See?
What?
Anyway, back into things. So that's our future right there, folks. As I move around. So.
I know. Well, so part of it is you notice that we're always changing, but wherever you're watching this, we do have to say like, thank you because we're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow in 2D and 3D. And wherever you're watching, subscribe to us. We want more viewers. Follow us on Twitter, and thank you once again for over 40 million links on the internet. And for news, check out Old Cam's comments on the headlines of today, where you can catch yesterday's news.